Today, we're diving deep into the Jagannath Temple, and we're not just looking at it as a historical monument, but as a living, breathing tradition that operates on a scale that is honestly almost unbelievable. We're going to explore the mind-boggling numbers, the immense effort, and the deep devotion that fuel one of the most vibrant spiritual centers on the planet.
So it all boils down to this one question, right? How do you honor divinity on a truly colossal scale? What does that even look like day to day in terms of materials, people, and rituals? Well, the answer lies in this incredible universe of meticulous detail, and we're about to jump right in.
All right, let's kick things off with the big one, the annual Chariot Festival. And trust me, calling this a parade doesn't even begin to cover it. We're talking about a monumental feat of engineering and pure faith, all centered on these three gigantic structures that you really have to see to believe.
At the very heart of this festival are three deities, Lord Jagannath, his brother Balabhadra, and his sister Subhadra. Every year, they take this special journey, and each one gets their own unique, masterfully built chariot. And the wildest part? They're built completely fresh, from scratch, every single year.
Okay, check out these numbers, because this is where the scale just gets wild. Lord Jagannath's chariot, Nandi Ghosh, stands about 45 feet tall, rolling on 16 massive wheels. His brother's Taladvaja is nearly as tall with 14 wheels, and his sister's Darpadalana has 12. But honestly, look at that last column, the number of individual wooden parts for each one. That's what's truly mind-blowing.
Let's just let that first number sink in for a second. 832. That's how many distinct wooden pieces it takes to build Lord Jagannath's chariot alone. Can you even imagine that? Each one has to be perfectly crafted and assembled, all for one chariot for one festival.
And then, for his brother Balabhadra's chariot, it's another 763 pieces. You know, none of this is random. Every single piece has a purpose, a specific place it has to go, all based on a sacred design that's been passed down for centuries.
And finally, for their sister Subhadra's chariot, you're looking at 593 wooden parts. So all in, that's nearly 2,200 individual pieces of wood, coming together to make these three towering structures. And then, they do it all over again the next year. It's just an incredible display of complexity and artistry.
But you know, this incredible scale isn't just a once-a-year thing. Nope, it is a daily reality at the temple. Which brings us to our next part, the absolutely monumental task of preparing a feast for the gods every single day.
56. Just remember that number. That's how many different food items are prepared and offered to the Lord. And no, that's not for a special occasion. That's the daily standard, every single day.
And all this happens in this gigantic temple kitchen. And here's something amazing. There's a sacred fire in there, the Vaishnavagni, that they say has been kept burning continuously for thousands of years. Just think about that. The food cooked today is connected to a tradition stretching back through countless generations.
And to give you an idea of the sheer volume, every day they cook a minimum of 72 quintals of rice. That's over 7,000 kilograms, or more than 15,000 pounds of rice. And it's all cooked in the traditional way, in earthen pots by hundreds of cooks.
So why go to all this trouble? Well, it's all rooted in this beautiful concept called Anna Brahma. The idea is that the sacred food, the prasad, isn't just an offering to the divine, it is divine. It's considered an embodiment of the ultimate reality, which elevates the simple act of cooking and eating into something profoundly spiritual.
And this divine food is part of a daily rhythm. There are 5 main offerings, or bhoga, that happen throughout the day. It starts with the first meal in the morning and goes all the way to the final offering late at night. This cycle is basically the heartbeat of the entire temple.
Okay, so we've covered the chariots and the food. For our last part, let's switch gears from taste to sight, because the deities themselves are not static figures. Their appearance is constantly changing thanks to these incredibly elaborate decorations, or shringars.
19. That's right, throughout the year, the deities are adorned in 19 different special decorations. And each Vaishya, or look, isn't just for show. It has its own deep meaning, usually commemorating a specific story or aspect of the divine.
And just look at the variety here. You have the Chandanlagi, where the deities are covered in cooling sandalwood paste. Then there's the Ganesh decoration, where they take on the form of the beloved elephant-headed god. Or the Kaliya Dalana decoration, which tells the story of Lord Krishna's famous victory over the serpent Kaliya. Each one is a unique work of art telling a different story.
And the transformations just keep coming.
From the regal Lakshmi-Narayan Vesha to the fierce warrior form of the Nagarjuna Vesha, this constant change is so important, It shows that the deities are seen as dynamic and active, participating in the cycles of the year right alongside their devotees. So when you see all these numbers, the thousands of wooden parts, the quintals of rice, the 19 unique decorations, the big takeaway is this: they aren't just trivia. They are the building blocks of a universe of detail. They are the tangible evidence of a tradition that is profoundly and vibrantly alive, right now.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've seen the numbers and the scale, but behind every single piece of wood and every grain of rice are generations of artisans, priests, and cooks. So what does it truly take, in human terms, to keep a ritual this complex and this ancient, not just preserved, but breathing every single day?